All right, now what I'd like to do is start to recreate something that resembles the polysynth that we looked at before. Dealing with the oscillator section, I know that we had two oscillators and there was a knob where we could blend between them. So let's try to set up something like that now. I don't really need to see the oscilloscope, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this. I will simply select it, I'll right click and hit delete, but I do want to keep the spectrum analyzer here for later. So I'm going to add another oscillator. Not really sure what type just yet, so I'll just go ahead and drag and drop one of these in. Let's say that we drag in a triangle, and I'll put this here. So I have two different oscillators. Each one generates a different waveform. Now I want to be able to hear both of these oscillators, and I want to be able to blend between the values. Let's go ahead and just look at the polysynth again to get a good reminder of what we're going for. I have two different oscillators. Each one can generate a different waveform, and then I can use a knob to blend between the volume of both. For all the way to the left, we only hear oscillator 1. All the way to the right, we hear oscillator 2. If we're in the middle, we hear them both blended together. All right, so what we should do, just go to the polygrid here, and I will expand it again. And just to be clear, the signal path here is that our sound comes out of the oscillator, but we're only going to hear the sound if the volume envelope here gets triggered. This is set up to get triggered every time a note plays, and every time we play a note, the volume follows the shape of this envelope. All right, so I need to put a blend module in between the oscillators and the volume envelope. If I go into the mix category, I believe it's here. Yes, there goes blend. All right, and this looks very similar to what we saw in the polysynth. There's a knob. We have two inputs and one output, and I can blend between the two inputs, and I'll hear the combination there. If I send this out to the volume envelope, I won't hear anything output from this blend module until I actually play a note. Perfect. All right, so one thing I want to do is I want to insert the output of the sawtooth into the blend module. Currently, this sawtooth is going directly to my volume envelope. So instead of breaking this connection, I can simply take the blend module and drag and drop it onto this output node here, and then it's connected. All right, so right there, that's good. So this is going to be input 1. The triangle, click and drag here, that'll be input 2. All right, so now if I play a sound, beautiful. Okay, this is exactly what we were going for here. So now we have the initial oscillator structure set up. We have our mix knob here, okay, so that we can blend between the two oscillators. So at this point, now we should figure out which oscillators do we really want to use and how can we tweak them to make a sound that's a good starting point for a unique synth patch.